you guys, we are here today because we're going to be looking at tips and tricks on how to make your artificial flowers look a little bit less artificial. We do have Mackenzie here, and Mackenzie is going to help us out today. Mackenzie, how do we feel about artificial flowers altogether?
I'm not a big fan, but on those times that I attempt to buy them, I usually just pick them out in a craft store, and really, they all look the same. I don't even know where to start or what to look for because they all just look fake.
I absolutely agree. It's like walking into a sea of plastic. Everywhere you look, it's like plastic flowers. What I do, even if I don't work with artificial flowers a lot, when I do, I only work with the top 3 varieties in mind. So for me, I only work with roses, peonies, and garden roses.
Why are these the top 3?
Good question. These are my top 3 because they are the easiest to replicate. The way that their petals actually come out is a little bit more natural looking. So it is less likely to look plastic. Aside from the variety of choice, you also have to consider the color. The color has to stay within the muted tone, the whites, the baby pinks, really something muted. We don't want to do anything bright yellow or anything neon. Definitely avoid that. It's a telltale sign that your flower is fake because there's just no such thing as a neon orange flower. Another thing that you can do as well is avoid having a lot of greenery sticking out. This is also what's going to make it look plasticky.
These are really great tips. I think one of the challenges that we have with these are just putting them together and arranging them in a vase. Do you have any tips for us?
I would love to share some tips with you guys. What I have here is a silk peony, so a silk artificial peony. So you can see it has a lot of greenery sticking out. We do not want that. It's like a telltale sign that your flower is fake. So we just want to cut that out straight up, just like so. Just by doing that, it already looks a little bit better, but there's more that we can do. So I would go back in, make sure that I let go of these greeneries, I cut them flush. It's okay, you don't have to cut them perfectly because how you're gonna arrange them is how it's gonna really affect the look of it. So there is another layer here, it's supposed to be the garden petals, but as you can see, it is a little bit greenish. So I also don't like that, so I will say bye to it. Just cut that just like so. Again, you just have to be cautious not to cut too close to the stem, but you want to be close to the stem because you want to hide that evidence. Any evidence of plastic greenery, we have to get rid of. So just by doing so, you can see it already is looking a little bit more real. Clean, polished, sophisticated just by doing that. Another thing that I always like to do is I go in, I cut these threads sticking out. There you go. From afar, you might seem like, oh, no one's gonna notice. People are gonna notice, trust me. Any thread sticking out, people will see it. And so when you cut those out, you then confuse them. Like, is that real or is that fake? And then they would go in closer, they will realize it's fake, of course. But they do have that confusion, which is always good.
It does change the look. That's amazing. Now, before we go, do you have one last tip for us on how we will arrange them?
Absolutely. I'd love to share some tips with you guys. This is the fun part. You get to arrange these babies. What I usually start with is I find a greenery that is not a bright greenery. We gotta go and find the muted type. So anything that's dusty, frosted, anything that's almost mint green. This way, it has almost like a little bit of a coating. It's like a white suede coating. What it does, it breaks out that plastic look, so it's not gonna look plastic. It's not gonna look shiny. The light is actually not reflecting on it because it's flat, so it's not shiny. You can start with that as a base. I already started this one for you guys, so it's a little bit easier, the magic of TV. But it's already started. I put the greeneries first. You just stick that right in. And then you start adding the flowers. The best thing about this flower is that because they are artificial, they are wired. So you really have a lot of movement that you can do to them. And having that movement almost gives it that real look. You don't want it to be sticking upright just like this, because then you're gonna see all those greenery that we just cut. We don't want them to see that. That's the whole point. We don't want to hide it. So just by doing that and making sure that it's almost facing eye level, almost facing whoever's looking at it. So for example, this one is actually facing forward. So we want to make sure that that is being captured. We don't want anything that sees what the plastic stem is going to look like. As much as we can't hide the plastic evidence, we have to. Just by doing all those little finessing, it will almost pass to be a real flower. It's artificial, it's never going to be real. But you're this close, but you're this close. A little bit closer. There you go, flaunt them, show them around, enjoy. We will pick out our next tips and tricks videos from your comments below, so make sure you let us know what you want to see next. Check out more of our behind the scenes and design project sneak peeks on my Instagram, maria.peppermint. Thanks guys, until next time, stay blooming.